I need to say it out loud because I have no idea how to create an existence plan to help. I mean, it's embarrassing, but I like had to take Amazon app off my phone, the Target app off my phone, and then I like put them back on my phone, and then I deleted, like, it's bad. It sounds like so stupid, but I get this like impulsivity of like, when I get that, I feel complete for like a minute and it's over.
So you have a lack of integrity around your finances. Okay, nothing's wrong with that. And then, what about existence?
Well, I wanted to figure out an existence plan to like keep wanting to stay relevant so that I remember why I wasn't spending. I haven't really figured out what that looks like. I mean, I thought that the existence plan was taking those apps off my phone, but clearly that. So I'm not sure.
Well, that's a start. Yeah, that's a start. And then you can go create something. And you can create it with your group, because we're going to still work on the 4 pillars, actually, a little bit later on tonight. Okay? So you want to continue, who's in your group? So you guys want to create an existence system. Don't let her off the hook. Unless she brings us all gifts next session.
And my husband would be really mad at me. It's our money, but I spend too much of it.
I got it, yeah. You don't want to do that.
That's bad.
All right, so your group, I got it, your group's got it. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Acknowledge Marissa. All right, so, staying on time here, okay? I'm going to give everybody a chance to share with your partner. So, with your partner, you want to share what opened up for you out of doing the assignment. And if you didn't do the assignment, you may want to acknowledge that you didn't do it, and then restore your integrity. That's a pillar, right? By putting into an existence system, that's another pillar. By doing the assignment by next session. Okay? Is that clear? Let me say this again. You all get it.
Did you go over the pillars and
Yes.
explain that a little
Integrity
bit?
is doing what you said you would do, by when you said you would do it. Relationships. So having a big game in life requires having relationships and powerful people around you. Okay? You see powerful people out there in the world, and they're not by themselves. They have people around them that they're up to what, sharing with them, creating with them in a system, a team. Okay? And then enrollment. Enrollment, we're going to get into it a little bit later, but it says it right there. Right? Enrollment is causing a new possibility to be present for another, such they are touched, moved, and inspired by that possibility. And existence is, it's a way of tracking what's so. So that could be, setting something in a calendar, an appointment, a meeting, emails, files. It's putting in something into existence so that you can create something. It's not quite like planning. It's somewhat there. But like when I want to do something, I'll schedule we call it scheduling an occasion, and I'll put it in my calendar. So like when Angela tells me I need to buy plane tickets, I'll schedule an occasion in my calendar to remind her to buy plane tickets. It works brilliantly. She's always like, I can't remember. I said, that's what I got on my calendar. Okay, so it's an existence system. All right, so that's the 4. Okay, so share what opened up out of doing the assignment. If you didn't do it, you want to restore integrity by putting it into existence, doing the assignment by the next session. So I'm going to give you a minute and a half each. Go ahead and turn to your partner and share. Go ahead and switch if you haven't switched. 1.5 more minutes, please switch. 1.5 more minutes. Okay, 15 more seconds. Start to wrap it up. 15 more seconds. And acknowledge your partner. All right, tonight we're going to have a conversation about the power of language to create. But before we get into that conversation, we want to revisit a conversation that we've been working on from throughout the whole seminar. So we're going to start with the basic question of the Landmark Forum. Who are you? Who are you really? Smarty, got a smarty. Who are you really? Real power in life is not available until you can authentically address that question. So in this conversation, we're not talking about who you pretend you are. So what is pretend? What comes to mind when you hear pretend? Winning formula. Looking good. Looking good. Lack of integrity. Fake. Anything else? Huh? Reasonable? Yeah. So we're not talking about who you pretend you are. We are talking about who you really are. Before the Landmark Forum, one possible answer to the question, who are you? It was some combination of your brackets and your winning formulas. Remember that? Yeah. And you didn't know that you didn't know that you didn't know that. In the Landmark Forum, you discovered and identified with your brackets and winning formulas. But now, at this point in the seminar, you're clear that you have brackets. But who you are is not your brackets. In other words, you're not your brackets. You're also clear that you have winning formulas, but who you are is not your winning formulas. Who you are is not analytical. Who you are is not, what's another winning formula you have? Perfection. German, what's your winning formula? Perfection? Okay. How about back here? Control. Yeah. So who you really are, right? So having distinguished that you are not your rackets and not your winning formula, it opens up something. It allows for you to engage powerfully in the question, who are you? Who are you really? And creates the possibility of fully being yourself. But the possibility of fully being yourself, it calls on you to resolve what the self is that you're referring to. Now we can look newly at the question. Or look newly at who are you really? So let me hear from you. Who are you really? You just shout it out. Who are you really? Yeah, Danny?
I know exactly who I am. I believe.
Who are-
Unless I'm misunderstood.
And who are you?
Who am I? I am compassionate, honest, fun, unstoppable, and yet flexible.
Okay. Honest, compassionate, unstoppable, flexible. Did I get them all?
Fun.
No, you're not that. I'm just kidding.
Why don't you just put fun twice?
Okay, fun squared for the science majors. Who are you really? Great, thank you. Chris,
Resource.
yeah, resource. Say a little bit more about that.
Well, I started a new job everybody knows, and it's like
Sit.
I started a new job everybody knows, and I'm finding that some of the conversations I'm having with my coworkers are that they're very unhappy with their job. But something that gives me energy is like knowing that I have something like this in my life, and I'm spiritually grounded, and that for me is an opportunity to open a space for just to be concerned. So I'm starting to to feel myself as a resource when it comes to enrolling people into something as a possibility for themselves when it comes to, hey, I'm not going to impact all 100 people, but I can speak to someone who may speak to me about not being happy at work, and I know about a place or a course or something as a resource of like information. People don't know things. So the forum is very related like that because there's no brochure. I have a brochure in my hand that I can say, hey, there's something available to you as a possibility. So I'm the resource.
So who you are is a resource.
So I see myself as resource, and perfecting that, how to deliver that is the place to stand.
Okay. Thank you. Who else? Who are you really? Is anybody participation?
I would say,
Just on, just gonna
yeah,
stand up.
yeah. So I want to say that from doing the forum, what I've recognized and realized is that I'm this author of a creator, yeah, masterful creator. In a way, I'm starting to see that I have this blank canvas, and I start fresh from a new perspective, new eyes, new ears, a whole new way of being. So I would say I'm a creator. Yeah, I would say a masterful creator. You can orchestrate, you can paint, you can compose what's possible for your life. And by doing so, I'm seeing that by enrolling and sharing, it's really opening up my heart center. It's really opening up my heart. I can really engage and connect with people in an authentic way because now I'm just being, and I don't know, just being. Whatever that is, it's who I am. So yeah, I guess I'm not the
Masterful creator and being. Okay. There's no wrong answers. Yet. Okay, there's no wrong answers. So let me see if I can bring some distinction to the question. Right? So out of participating in the Landmark Forum, you can answer the question, who are you, from an extraordinarily powerful possibility. So when you discover for yourself that you are not what you've identified yourself as, brackets, winning formulas, then just maybe who you are is nothing in what you create. So said another way, who you are is nothing in your word. Soren, who you are. So when you consider the possibility that who you are is your word, then who you are is the stand that you take for yourself. So when you try on the possibility that when you're free from the constraints of the past, when you're free from your past, limitations, who you are is the stand you take for who you are. Let me say that again, right? So consider that who you are is the stand that you take for who you are. So my stand is for your transformation every week. I've said this before. Can you imagine coming here, sitting in your chairs at 7 o'clock, and nobody walks up? You guys don't expect that to happen, do you? Or how about around this time, about 8 o'clock or so, I'm like, all right, guys, it's a wrap, I'm out. I mean, that's really lacking integrity, right? Yeah, I'm really going to stand for you, Z, but I got to go. Right? So let me back up a little bit. So consider that who you are is a stand for who you take who you are. Stand for you to take who you are. So when who you are is no longer determined by your past, the thing that we'd like to hold on to, then who you are is solely a function of your word. And that is what you stand for. So when you're not standing for your past by who you were, then who you are is solely a function of your word. And that is what you stand for. And then what life becomes about is about being true and being, consistent and living consistent with that stand. So after observing hundreds and thousands of people after the Landmark Forum, we are really clear that there's a definite process that people go through after their transformation, after their forum. And a major part of the process for people is the work to get clear about the possibility you are standing for being in life. So in other words, the Landmark Forum, there's the work of resolving with certainty and power a life you can live powerfully and a life that you can love. Okay, well, we now want to look at what allows for creating that possibility, creating the possibility that you're willing to stand for as yourself with certainty and power. So, here's what you got to get. While it may seem obvious at first, what allows for creating the possibility that you are willing to stand for as yourself with certainty and power is the space of uncertainty. I'm going to say that again. While it may not seem obvious at first, what allows for creating the possibility that you are willing to stand for as yourself with certainty and power is the space of uncertainty. So we're going to look at that together. It's kind of a paradox, right? So many of you have directly experienced the Landmark Forum. It leaves you in a space of uncertainty, doesn't it? Empty, meaningless. There's a blank slate, so it becomes uncertain. And it's designed that way. So when you walked into your Landmark Forum, you were certain about everything, weren't you? Weren't you? You're pretty certain. Every one of you was certain. Especially you. I can say that in session 7 because we have a relationship now, right? If this is session 1, you probably walk out. Yeah. So you left the landmark form confronting being uncertain. Like, now what? So the space of uncertainty is uncomfortable, is an uncomfortable space for people to be in. Can you see that in your life? When you're not sure about something, you don't know, or you're uncertain? You guys dead?
I
You're dead. I'm gonna go turn around and leave to the wall. And I'd be dead. So what comes to mind when you hear uncertainty? Just want to wake you guys up.
You're not sure what's going to happen.
You're not sure what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but life is uncertain.
I had an uncertainty today. It was, I had a goal and I have to get it done, and I have never been able to get it done. And awareness of failure is terrifying. And I turned it around and I found a solution.
So you want to stand up and say that a little louder?
Sure. It happens all the time with me. Today it happened again. I was doing something really important in my life, and I failed. I failed to meet my expectations, which might be, as I'm told, is like way out of, my expectation is like this, and everybody else tells me, take it easy, keep it over here, but mine is over here. So I failed, and when I failed, I was terrified because I could never get this done, and I have to get it done. It's just a goal of mine. So it was awareness. Awareness is terrifying, and within a few moments of this terrifying, I found a solution for it, which I'm looking forward to living it and applying it and making it happen for this goal, which affects many places. So that just happened today. It happens all the time with what I was working on.
I'd like to say that, when you said awareness, that would be uncertainty.
It was, well, it's scary. It's like, I just failed again. And can I do it? Is this possible? Everybody tells me it's not, but so what?
How many of you experienced that? Only 3. We have aliens on this side. Yeah, okay, so I don't know. Uncertainty. People, you know what? People, human beings, we resist. We really fight against uncertainty. Oh yeah. However, contrary to your experience, uncertainty is actually a very high state in life. So I'm going to have you shout out. Can someone say why uncertainty is a high space? Christian,
It creates possibility.
did you guys hear that? Yep. Okay. Creates possibility. What else?
It can be exciting.
It can be exciting.
Opportunity to go in any direction.
An opportunity to go in any direction. I'll give you the answer. It's only in the space of uncertainty that the possibility of creating who you are and what your life is for exists. It is only in the space of uncertainty that you can create a powerful stand for who you are in life. A stand you can continue to stand in no matter what life gives you. And your stand is unwavering. My stand is seminar leader. I'm this at the gas station. I'm this when I hang up on my coach. I'm this when I'm vacuuming the floor, with my boss. Here, I'm a stand for transformation. And it's unwavering. So what we're going to do is we're going to take what we've just created here and we're going to look at the actual process now for creating the possibility that you are willing to stand for as yourself. So let me ask you a question. Where does the power of creation lie?
In your word.
What else? Who else?
Say one more time.
Where does the power of creation lie?
In your word.
God, you guys are good. You're right. The power of creation lies in language. So it lies in word, right? It's inaccurate to think that the only function of language is descriptive. So meaning people are that there is only a word-to-world fit. Like, what is that? So a word-to-world fit. Inside that model, and this is the old model, your job is to fit your words to the world, to describe the world that is out there. And so, what do you think of describe? What does describe mean when it comes to mind? Language?
Meaning.
Meaning? Describe. It's give an account of words or someone or something. So in a word-to-world fit, I'm gonna go ahead and look at this board, and my words are gonna fit what's in the world. So I'm gonna say that here's a board, and then I'm gonna start describing it. You see that? That's the old model. Or the building, right? That's one model. Another possible model for language is a world-to-word fit. And in a world-to-word fit model, words don't describe the world. Words create the world. So in that model, that's the new model. Language is the medium of creation. It's the avenue to bring something into existence. And in a world-to-word fit, there's a phenomenon in language. It's a kind of speaking that from nothing brings new worlds into existence. So what do we call the phenomenon in language that creates? Manifestation? What else? Declaration? What else? Vision? What do we call the phenomenon in language that creates? Creation. What else?
Understanding.
Understanding. Intention. Alignment. Imagination. Possibilities. Existence. What else?
Definition.
Definition, reality. What'd you say? Reality, okay. Well, one of you had it right from the very beginning. It was D. Declaration. So we call the phenomenon in language declaration. Creation begins with the phenomenon declaring. You have to look that up. It's assert, announce, proclaim. So to declare is to create language. And the moment I declare, the moment what I'm declaring exists. And one comes from nothing to declare. So a declaration creates a world, a whole world as a possibility. And that's a world-to-word fit. So creating a language is a function of declaration. So at the moment of declaring, I'll say this a couple times so you can get it. At the moment of declaring, that which is declared exists as a possibility. Let's say it again. At that moment of declaring, that which is declared exists as a possibility. So for example, when I was taking my professional engineering licensing exam, at the very beginning, I had all these topics and all these subjects I had to pass. And there was a lot of internal dialogue with all these problems. How many practice exams am I going to take? How many months is this going to take? How much money is this going to cost? I'm not going to have any free time. Am I going to pass? How am I going to pass? That whole dialogue, right? Well, at that moment of declaring, that which is declared exists as a possibility. I declared that I will pass. That's a possibility for me. But had I not declared it, then I would, I don't believe that I would have passed it. Now, a good example of this is the Declaration of Independence. I hope that sounds familiar. Declaration is distinct from description. Now, the founders of the United States didn't call their document a description of independence, did they? Were they describing freedom? Were they describing independence? They declared independence, and independence was created as a possibility in that declaration. So the first step in creating the possibility that you are willing to stand for as yourself with power and certainty is to empower your declarations to create yourself. So somebody tell me, how do you empower your declarations to create yourself? Yes?
I declared in front of my advanced course that by my 50th birthday, I was living in Europe. So I put it out in front of 150 people, and somehow it will happen.
Action. Share it.
She's already got it, right, Chris? We don't need you. You empower your declarations to create yourself by declaration. By what she said. Now, before being able to declare yourself, you first declare that whatever you declare, you'll honor. You'll give high respect to it. So the first declaration from nothing is, who I am is who I declare I am. I'm going to say that again. So the first declaration from nothing is who I am is who I declare I am. Now, by declaring who you are, by declaring that who you are is whoever you declare yourself